So, if you've been paying attention to the channel recently, you'll know that I've been voice acting Blue Lock every Thursday, and if you are here because of that, make sure to check out the rest of my content. I'd really appreciate it. But that's not the point. Right now, we're going to be talking about something Blue Lock related, and if you saw the title, well, you probably did, that's why you're watching this video. It is what is, in my opinion, Blue Lock's best arc. Now, I'll just get out and straight away say it. I think the second selection is my favorite arc, even though, given my previous statements on Blue Lock in my Blue Lock versus Aoashi video, you might think maybe it wouldn't be, because this is a prime example of where there aren't really stakes because you know Isagi cannot lose to an extent. But I do think that the second selection is the best and most entertaining part of Blue Lock, and that is including the versus under 20 game, with the Blue Lock 11 versus the Japanese under 20s. It is under 20s or it's under 22s. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read it. But it will be including that, because I do consider that to be a part of this arc. Although I guess you could really consider that entire match to be its own mini arc. But I'd at least like to include it here. At least just to mention it. But yeah, why do I think the second selection is the best arc in Blue Lock? Well, first you start out with the Blue Lock Man thing, where they have to turn 1 into 100. They have to score 100 goals in 90 minutes. That is less than a goal a minute in pretty ridiculous circumstances. But either way, that Blue Lock Man setup allows Isagi, our main character, to grow in kind of a natural way and realize his weaknesses, and also, openly express his weaknesses to us, the reader, and show that, well, we know from seeing everything already that he isn't a perfect player. In fact, the best player in Blue Lock is not Isagi, in my opinion. And I will actually be doing a video on that. If you want to see that, leave a like and a comment. If you want to hear who I think the best and worst players in Blue Lock right now at the current state of the manga are, just, like I said, like and comment. But yeah, so we get this interesting bit with Blue Lock Man where Isagi, mentally becomes aware of his own weaknesses and uses them to become stronger. He has to surpass the need of a player who can create perfect passes for him, like Bachira. And then that is further exemplified in the actual proper second selection, the red whatever the fuck it's called. The anime's just gotten to this bit, so you'll probably know more about it, remember more about it than I will. Look, it's been a while. There's a lot of chapters. I'm reading it weekly now. Deal with the fact I might not remember everything perfectly. But anyway, after the Blue Lock Man bit, obviously, Bachira and Isagi team up in the, teams of 3 that then play against each other. Yeah, you understand the arc. And Nagi joins them. Both Isagi and Nagi are players that both require setup. They require assists to succeed. Nagi so he can trap and then pop off in the goal, and then Isagi so he can get a nice direct shoot using his spatial awareness. And that's why they have Bachira on the team. Well, Bachira's there because he likes Isagi, but that's by the by. Then, when they play against Itoshi Rin and, the rest of the top 3, after the Blue Lock Man bit, they lose Bachira. And this is a big hit to Isagi, and it's actually probably one of the most important and best times for his character to develop is through the loss of Bachira. There's a brilliant video on YouTube, I can't remember who it's by, but I've watched it. It's a very good video explaining why Bachira's, being taken is so important for Isagi, and is the reason Isagi is basically able to be at the level he is now. And why he's able to surpass and consume and devour Baro, and then later get onto the same level as Rin. It's also in the second selection that luck is explained. And, well, most sports and type things explain luck in a very similar way. You create your own luck. You need to be good enough to put yourself in a situation where you can capitalize on good luck. And, yeah, that's basically what Blue Lock does. And that's why Isagi is below Rin. He didn't put himself into a position where he could capitalize on good fortune. Rin was in the right place at the right time. He's a good player. He is aware. He was able to put himself in a position where chance would favor him, or at least not disfavor him. And that is then reflected in the Versus Under 20s game. Obviously, when Isagi, uses Rin, believes in Rin, and is lucky, quote-unquote, as his friend puts it during a little bit where they go home, and leave Blue Lock for like a week or whatever, is that he just got lucky with that goal. Not really thinking about everything that went into it that makes Isagi a brilliant player and shows the growth that he has had through the second selection. The second selection is where Isagi has the most growth. Like, it just is. You could argue now that in the current arc with the, the third selection or whatever, that's given him more growth because of, metavision, as pseudo bullshit as that is. Yeah. Also, one thing I want to point out is the trope that Blue Lock has with how Isagi gets better is handled best in this arc. So, during the first selection, we have Nico, who has good spatial awareness, he has good eyes, and it's because of him that Isagi, improves and learns how to use his own abilities properly, at least on the baseline. And then when we're introduced to Rin, who also has exceptional spatial awareness, but is also just fucking goated because he's physically better than Isagi, Isagi is forced to go beyond Rin's level of spatial awareness. He also learns how eyes work, if you will. And blind spots through Rin. It's through Rin that Isagi has the most development. Rin is Isagi's true rival, and also counterpart, his foil, given that they're both players with the same ability, effectively. And it's through that Isagi will get stronger. And, like I said, same with the first selection of it's through Nico that Isagi gets stronger initially within the first selection. And then, now in the third one, we have Kaiser, who is has metavision. It's because of him that Isagi learns metavision, and, it repeats this trope. But I think it's handled best within the second selection. And that's why I think the second selection is the best arc, because it handles our, star player, our main character, the focus of our story's development and improvement the best. At least in my opinion. If you disagree, obviously let me know in the comments. Tell me your thoughts, which arc you think is the best, and why. Or if you just like an arc because it's hype, and, in all fairness, that's also the main reason I really like the second selection, because it's really bloody hype, just in general. Even if there are, basically no stakes, because again, Isagi can't lose, although he does in that rematch against Rin's team, which is again, a really nice twist, and adds, an extra layer to the story, and I did actually really, really enjoy that twist, and that's probably the main reason I really enjoy the second selection, because it subverted my expectations in a good way. Though it's also through the second selection, with Kunigami losing, that we found out about the wildcard system, and that basically the players that lost had a second chance, so it kind of defeats a little bit of the purpose of the first selection and stuff, but hey, people like Kunigami, so I get why he would have been kept in through inserting a bullshit thing, because I had to introduce Shido, and Shido, because of the situation he was introduced in, had to win to then be relevant later on. Yeah. But anyway, that is my thoughts on the second selection and why I think it's, probably the best arc, at least in my opinion. Not exactly well articulated, but I feel like I've got most of what I wanted to say across. Like I said, let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments below, and if you want to see the video on the best and worst player in Blue Lock, in my opinion, like and comment. But with all that said, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I hope to get you all next time for another video. Ta-ta for now.